Hi there, Frank Flegg here, founder of Ethical Property Partners. In this episode, on location in beautiful Derbyshire, I'm going to be explaining to you a few of my top tips for negotiating on property investments. Now, this is one of the areas that most of our franchisees struggle with, and it's funny, isn't it? Most investors think that their biggest obstacle is finding the deals. Finding the motivated vendors. It's not. It very, very rarely is. Most of the time, the deals are all around them. They just don't know how to talk to the vendors in order to find them out. And I'm going to give you an example today. I'm going to give you an example of someone that found themselves a brilliant B&V deal just a few nights ago and didn't realize it. He found me. And I was selling something, and just a few nights ago, and he could have got the best deal probably he would have done this year. But because he didn't follow my system, he ended up with a very, very mediocre deal. And I skipped into my house that evening because I couldn't believe how well, what a good price I'd got for this vehicle. And I'm going to tell you that story in this episode. So let's talk about the principle of negotiating. I think it boils down to three things. I think it boils down to honesty, being honest. I think it boils down to openness, being open. And thirdly, and this is where people struggle, people think that the first two don't matter. You know, how can you be honest and open in a negotiation? You know, we're on opposite sides. How's that going to work? But thirdly, they miss that you have to be strong. You're honest, you're open, but you're strong about it. And if you follow those three things, you will get deal after deal after deal. You will negotiate phenomenal deals that you didn't even think were possible. But only if you're honest, open, and strong. So let me tell you this story. I had a full-time maintenance guy. He's just left the company, and so I needed to sell the van that the company bought. We bought this van about 18 months ago for £13,800. Bought it on finance. Finance was amazing, actually. Finance was about 5.5%, which I thought was brilliant on a vehicle. So I took finance on it, put down the minimum deposit. I think the minimum deposit was about £1,000, and then took finance on the balance. So I've been paying off a small amount each month, a couple £100 a month. And so my maintenance guy has now finished, and we're selling the van. I'm not going to replace him, and so we're selling the van. And I looked at how much I had left on the van, and I had just under £10,000 left on it. And so I put it on the advert. In fact, it was my maintenance guy's last job to put it on Auto Trader before he left. And so I've had about 5 inquiries. I think we put it on a bit high, actually. We put it on at £15,000. He researched it. I went with his recommendation. So we put it on at £15,000. I got some offers, you know, I'll buy it tomorrow for 10k. I'll buy it tomorrow for 12k. And so this dealer phoned me and said, I'll buy it for £12,100. And I thought to myself, do you know what? He lives about an hour away, this dealer. He said, let me get will you accept 12,100? And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, I paid 13,800 for it 18 months ago. Yes, it depreciated a bit, but I've been paying off more than that anyway. I now owe about £10,000 on it. I put £2,000 in my pocket, gets rid of the van before I go away on business. I think that will work for me. So I said to the guy, yeah, I think that'll work for me. I hope for a bit more, but yeah. He said, let me check my diary, I'll come back to you. I missed his call later that day and didn't phone him back. I just got busy. It's not high priority for me, as you can imagine. And I just left the advert running. And I kept thinking to myself, I must phone that dealer back and sell it to him for £12,100. And then this local guy phoned me up, and he said to me, I've seen your van, it's up for £15,000. Will you take an offer? And I said, do you know what, mate, I will take an offer. Now, normally I'd really negotiate hard, but I think it was too highly priced anyway. So I didn't say this to him, but I said, yeah, I'll take an offer. He said, could I pop round this evening to see it? I said, yeah, pop round. So about 2 hours later, he came round, lives about 20 minutes away, popped round. He had a look at the car, the van rather, took it for a test drive, and I'm pretty trusting, pretty abundant. I was like, you take it, drive as far as you want, just come back when you're ready. So he drove around, came back, measured it because he needed to put his stuff in the back and it had to be the right size. And he said, Frank, that works for me. It's great. It's in really good condition. You know, it's been looked after, etc. And he went quiet. and he got really awkward, and I knew what was coming, but I was kind of enjoying it because I do this all day, every day, and it's unusual to be sold to. Normally it's me doing the selling. And he said, oh, this is awkward, isn't it? And I said, what, talking about money? He said, yeah. I said, do you want to come in for a cup of tea? He said, no, but I guess we've got to talk about it. And I thought, oh, what a way to introduce negotiating with someone who's already said they're willing to take an offer. So I've already said I don't want 15 grand for it. And I'd thought to myself that he'd probably offer 10k. And I thought, do you know what? If we could meet in the middle at 12,500, between 15 and 10, I'd be over the moon, because it's a bit more than the dealer was going to get me, but I could get shot of it that night, etc. But did he offer? Did he offer 66% of asking price? Most people can't. Most people can't get over it. It's too much, too big a discount. But here's the thing. My maintenance guy pretty much went like that and guessed £15,000. I think he got it way over, but that's what was on the advert. So this guy was led by that. He didn't have the strength to offer low. He didn't have the openness and honesty to say, Frank, I really could do with a deal. I'd love to buy it from you at 10 grand. Will you accept 10 grand? He didn't have it. Do you know what he offered? He said, do you think we could do it at maybe 14? And I'll be honest with you, I think he would have paid 14,750. But I wanted to be nice. I was delighted with 14, but it's not in my DNA to accept the first offer. I said, I'll tell you what, mate, if we can agree at 14,250, you can take it. And he couldn't have shook my hand fast enough. £14,250 on something I would have probably sold for £12,000. That would have been a 20% BMV deal for him. And instead, he ended up with £750, just because he wasn't open about the price he wanted, he wasn't honest, and he wasn't strong enough. And to be honest, I think it was the strength that was the big one. People aren't brave enough to have a no. They're not brave enough to experience the joy of negotiating. It's fun, it's a game. I would have been delighted to see him drive off having got himself a really good deal. I really wouldn't have minded. I was very delighted to have him drive off with £14,250 in my bank account. That was even better. But the point is, it's a game. And I want to just share with you a quick story. So this business trip, right, 6 weeks, and it involves quite a lot of travel. I'm not a big fan of hotels, and so we're staying in Airbnb villas, beachfront villas as we go. We've chartered a £500,000 yacht to go sailing for a week, and quite a lot of expenses. And so what I did was, and I love this, I found a load of Airbnb places that we'd be delighted to stay in, and took a message that I sent to every single one of them saying, I can see these dates are available, I'm really interested in your accommodation, and what's your best price? And I just cut and paste on Airbnb, bang, 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 bang. Did the same with the yacht. I said, you know, I think they wanted $5,000 or something, £5,000, that's it, for the yacht. And I said, I'd love to book it, I'm in a position to book it now. What's your best price? Great question to ask, what's your best price? Because you never know how motivated someone is. If that guy with the van had said to me, Frank, what's your best price? I probably would have gone in at 12.5. He would have saved himself £2,500 just by asking that question. And what has happened is the villas, and I'll be honest with you, the villas, we've barely got a discount. Like on some of them, they've knocked off like $5 a night. It's crazy. But the yacht, and this is really funny, the yacht said, we've already discounted it 15%. All very, really polite. No one's getting upset. No one's, this is just fun haggling. And I have to admit, I do enjoy it. I see it as a game. And if you see it as a game, and if you become practiced at negotiating and enjoying it and being polite and being open, being honest, but being strong, when you come to negotiate £1 million property, you're trying to knock off 30-40%, it's going to be easy for you. It's going to feel second nature. You're not going to feel all awkward like that guy was, and be worried about being able to actually get the words out, being able to actually, keep a straight face, ask for that level of discount. And so what happened, all the villas basically said no, and I was like, oh, they must have really good occupancy, no worries, that's our favorite one, we'll take it. The yacht came back and said, we've already given you 15% discount, we can't discount it anymore. And I thought to myself, I don't want to lose the yacht, so I want to email to say I'll take it. I sent the email at 9:06 this morning saying I'll take it. And then literally seconds later, 9:07, an email pinged up saying, because it's in the next few weeks, we can actually discount it a further 5% for you. And so it's knocked off another £250. It's knocked off another £250 just from asking. And so I emailed back really quick saying, that's really kind of you, thank you so much, I'll take that, because I'd already accepted it at the higher price. And here's the thing, over the whole holiday, if I have that little bit of a game, and I'm teaching my kids how to haggle, it's healthy, it's fun, how to negotiate. They negotiate with us already. Kids are brilliant at negotiating, but helping them to talk about money, talk comfortably about money, is such a valuable skill, and it's such an underrated skill. In fact, most parents tell their kids not to talk about money. What a way to disadvantage your kids when they get into real life and they need to. But if you look at that, if you look at those savings over the course of my 6-week trip, I could easily save $500, $1,000. Well, that's not to be sniffed at. That might be a down payment on a property over there. And if you look in the show notes, you'll see a reference to a video I did recently, an episode recently, where I listed the 3 best questions you can ask of a vendor. Go take a look at that episode, because it's phenomenally powerful. Being comfortable, being open, being honest. When I say open and honest in a real estate environment, in a property negotiation, what I mean by that is showing the vendor how you make your money. Saying to them, I need to buy this at 25-30% below, because my model is to then refinance and get all of my money out so that I can go buy more properties. Otherwise, if I pay market value for your house, I'm gonna tie up all my money, and I'm not going to be able to buy the next house and the next house and the next house. And that's what I say to people. When I say to people, we're buying over 50 properties right now, they're like, wow. And I say, but the way that we're doing that is by controlling them now and paying later, or by buying them 25, 30, 35, 40% below market value so that we can refinance later and get all of our money out. And when you're open and honest with people about your business model, they respect you for it. If that guy had come to me and said, Frank, do you know what? I've only got 12 grand. But I'd love to buy this van. Will you accept 12 grand? I would have given it to him. If he'd said to me, Frank, I can pay £15,000 for this. I've got £15,000, but I'd really like a deal on this. My last van is, just died. He told me about it. My last van's just died. I've sold it for a pittance. I'd really appreciate a deal on this. What's the best price you can do? That's open, that's honest, but it's strong. What's the best price you can do? Can you do me 10 grand on this? I would have said no to 10 grand. If he'd then said, can you do me 12? I would have said yes. And that's it. You get what you asked for, guys. And so if you've been watching these episodes, if you've subscribed and you get the notifications every time we release one of these episodes, if you think, if only I could find some of these deals, if only I could add £1,000, £3,000, £5,000 a month to my passive income, if only then I could quit my job and go full time. Think to yourself, these deals are all around you. They're on the open market, they're in auctions. Those vendors probably live next door or down the street or in the next street. You probably bump into them most weeks, but you're not having the right conversations. Guys, if that's you, my suggestion is go check out that other episode. The reference to it and the link to it is in the show notes. But also make sure you've clicked the subscribe button, make sure you've hit the notification bell. And that way, each and every time I release an episode, you'll hear about it first. You'll be able to watch it first. And if you want to start following the EPP system, building yourself a no money down portfolio, then don't hesitate to get in touch. You can come on one of our discovery days, come on one of our educational seminars, and you too can then be following our system, getting your own no money down deals, having vendors phone you, asking you to solve their problems for them. It really is a simple business, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, go on there. You'll hear real life stories, long form interviews, hour-long interviews between me and our EPP partners, some of whom have only been doing this 3 or 4 months, but have already got a few deals under their belt. Some of whom have been doing it a year and they've already got 10 deals under their belt. One final opportunity for you. If you have links with other countries, we have now got EPP in England, in Wales, Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland and Australia. We are soon to launch in the US. If you know anyone in the US or in other European countries who are established as real estate investors but are interested in being a master franchisor for EPP, then there is a golden opportunity right now to go and grow EPP in a country, to benefit from the positive cash flow, to be able to invest in real estate whilst helping others to do the same. If you know someone like that, or if that is you, we do have an international audience for our YouTube channel, then don't hesitate to get in touch. Until next time, guys, happy investing.